Welcome to the Browney podcast, and today we're here with Magnus Bulkan, 20-year-old from Norway, and he went from being overweight to then anorexic and then a very shredded YouTuber. Lots of viral videos, shorts and stuff like that, super interesting, and you're now, traveling the world, and you're now here in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
So thank you for being here.
Nah, it's an honor being here. It's the first time I've been at like a podcast studio, which is like this magnificent and it's really well put together. And the new background and stuff. Shout out to you guys for this. Damn, like way better than the old one. This going out of the park with
so
this
actually, this is for you. You haven't seen any of the new episodes yet with this because they're not at the time of recording, not online yet. So yeah, man, appreciate it. It's been something we've been working on for a while. Had a lot of discussions about like what should we do, but yeah, we appreciate it.
Yes, and also that's why I actually think you're a perfect guest, because we wanted to go a little bit more towards some fitness stuff, but also still the social media side and some relatable stuff, and maybe even some finance, but more about you, like about the fitness. And I think you're the perfect guest here. So Thank you so much for being here. And you're traveling the world right now, or at least you're traveling some countries. How's that going?
Nah, it's going really good. Yeah, went to Bob a few days ago. Planning on going to England for a few days, later next weekend as well. And one of the goals I set for myself this year was to travel to 3 new countries. Never been here or England. So now I just have 1 more to go. Then I can scratch that off the checklist.
Nice. Oh, so 3. So there's 1 more to go.
Yeah.
So before here, you went somewhere else.
Oh no, this is
the goal
like
is 3 for the year.
Oh, okay.
But you did go to Spain before, but
that
you've probably been
year.
there. It was last year.
And
I do have a question about it because you went there,
sure.
I think, to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right. So you went alone to Spain for how long were you there?
Exactly 1 month.
Okay. How was it? Because I think a lot of people, maybe when they're at their late teens or early 20s, think like maybe I should travel alone and go somewhere.
Yeah.
How was that for you?
I mean, it was very interesting. It was pretty hard to make friends as well, considering, I did make a lot of new friends, but then I was like, okay, you want to hang out? And then they're like, I gotta get back home to my home country the next day. And so it's really hard to find like long-term friends, but I got a few friendships with a few Spanish people though who actually live there. So yeah,
it's very relatable. I actually went to Spain when I was 18 years old for 6 months by myself. And I don't know if you had it, but when I was just about to leave, for me, it was very almost panicking. Like, I'm going somewhere, I don't speak the language, I don't know anyone. Like, what am I going to do? And once I was there, it was super chill. Did you have something similar?
Yeah, definitely. Like, especially after the lockdown and everything that has happened, like I just have became a lot more unsocial, which I feel like a lot of people can relate to that on. So it was definitely hard for me just to get to a place where I didn't know anyone at all and try to speak to people, especially in Spain. Luckily, a lot of people know English. Some people don't even know English, like at all. So it's pretty interesting to start conversation with people and hopefully they understand what you're saying. But at least, a lot of tourists went to that area. So I managed to definitely find some friends and stuff. But it was really nice just getting out of my hometown, getting to a more nicer and warm place. That's really what I was looking forward to the most, the weather, and that didn't disappoint. So
and now you're here.
Yeah,
the perfect weather.
Yeah, from Norway.
But I just called you Magnus Bulkan. Not your name.
No, that's not my name. It's pretty similar to my name though.
It was Bob told me. What is your real name?
Should I say it?
Yes,
please.
Yeah. Magnus.
If you want to keep it a secret, I mean,
you're going to pull up to my house and.
I will.
I mean, it's worth it. Yeah, my name is Magnus Bulkan. It's pretty weird to pronounce.
What's your middle name?
Frode. It's weird to pronounce in.
Because
English.
I think this is more of an international. The Norwegian.
Magnus Bulkan. That's how I would pronounce it in my language, which is pretty hard to pronounce in English.
Yeah. Kind of, but I like Bulkan. I think it's a great decision. It just it's kind of funny because you're not bulked at all. you're shredded year round, but it is workout related.
Was that a compliment? That's what I'm trying to.
Yes, it is. You're always shredded. I'll
take it. I'll take it. Yeah.
But that's maybe an interesting topic to go into straight away because, as Browney already said, you went from overweight to anorexic to being very shredded, and we spent the last few days together speaking about things. I don't think you feel like you're shredded right now, right?
Not that shredded right now, yeah. I mean, I have a few more kilos of fat than what I did like during last summer, but then I was extremely shredded. Had like
I think 99.999% of people would call you super shredded right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that still has to do something with the fact you have, you've been anorectic? So that's probably something that's always sort of Maybe, I don't know. Is that always a struggle or something you always have to?
No, not really. It wasn't. Okay. I wouldn't even say it's a struggle now. It's just because of social media. I'm more aware of like, being lean performs. Yeah, your videos perform better. Your images of you perform better. I mean,
yeah, Browney record. Yeah,
at least for. So the thing is, that's YouTube or Instagram. I would say Instagram mainly, but YouTube, it kind of, your videos do perform better, especially with thumbnail wise.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You could work around that by being super shredded, and then for like a week, and then just make a lot of pictures. I've never done this, and I'm definitely gonna do it. But then make 100 different poses and try that.
But use a year.
Use it for the entire year.
Yeah.
But the only thing is with this that at least for me, with my videos, I always have videos that I can't prepare for that topic. So it's
exactly.
I just have to be, and then being shredded year round does help. And it's actually funny that we talk about it like this, because you could also say I don't give a fuck, and I'm just gonna go right into just making videos, and I don't care how the thumbnail looks. But to be honest, if you make a video and you spend hours on that, or you spend weeks on that, and it performs better, like 100% better by just having a bit more abs in the thumbnail, you will be almost crazy to not do it. And yet that is the reality we're living in. So I mean,
it's a sad reality though.
It's interesting, but it kind of makes sense.
I can definitely see both sides.
Yeah, right. And I think Instagram is even funnier, because Instagram is like, it's just a picture. Like it's not even about the video, it's about the picture. So that's why it's super relevant on Instagram. But also the fact that there are lots of people that are just shredded year round, but but there's also people that are shredded like a few weeks a year, but they post those photos throughout the entire year. And then I mean, you always look shredded. So I mean,
but maybe just to sort of get back to my question, like, because I know last year you were like really, really lean, shredded, right? Maybe 2 probably, or at least in my opinion.
Yeah, I would say
2.
so, at least to like maintain it, because that wasn't the plan. Because I wanted to get like really lean before the gyms open back up, so that I can do like a long and slow gradual lean bulk. But like the gyms kept closing, so I had to kind of like postpone it. So I just maintained my leanness for definitely longer than what I should have done, like for the health of my body. But I mean, we're still surviving. We're here, so
you're here now.
It wasn't that bad.
But how did you know it was too shredded?
Well, definitely like a lot of people around me just thought it was. I mean, especially people who are not into lifting weights, because most people who are into lifting weights,
the more shredded,
at least
the
like
better.
Boys, they like think it looks cool to be shredded and veiny and stuff. But probably my family and just women in general, they're like, ew, like veins in the stomach, like what the heck is that?
Are you dying?
Yeah.
How was your energy level?
I definitely felt like they were lacking a bit. So I definitely have noticed now that I've got more energy as well, now that I'm sustaining some more.
That would impact your entire sort of workout routine and everything as well, because your performance in the gym will be less good, which therefore would just make your progress suck, I think, if you can't push yourself. So that there's no real benefit to it, to being that lean.
Yeah. I mean, some people, they like get so much confidence from just being that lean, so it kind of still can motivate them, because that's what gives them energy, just to wake up and see that they're still shredded, and then they're like, oh yeah,
I can't relate.
You're pretty lean though.
No, I mean not that lean. I mean I like food. No, but in general, I think that lean I've never been. I've seen some pictures of you. I mean those are crazy, and I would understand that you're like, I mean, not feeling a workout today or something like that.
I'm used to suffering, so for me it was like the normal.
But I think, just to go back, because I remember something you once told me, Stan. So I think it's one of the first times we met, and you said that one of the things that annoyed you is that people used to comment on your videos like, "Oh, you're not an athlete because you don't have abs."
Yeah.
And that sort of goes back to what you said, and what you said. It's really, and I think it's such a bad thing that your videos get more views if you're more shredded, because it's not necessarily a healthy thing. Sure. So people want to see something unhealthy, sort of, and that promotes also an unhealthy, because it's not good to be at 7-8% fat year round. That's not good for you. You need your energy. You need to have some reserve. So
the only reason you would have to be sub 10 or like 8 is just shows.
Yeah,
if you want to do shows and that's your life, at least that's that like you're making money with that, or at least that's your passion, right?
Yeah.
But then still, you've seen athletes off season as well. They're not sub 10. They're some are even 15 or higher, which is still super like fine. Obviously, actually, I would probably recommend that for muscle growth and stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, this is being shredded. It can suck. I most of the time also when I shred, I do it in a short period of time, so I make it even harder.
Yeah,
but
it's like a very large calorie deficit too.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting question because I know you go about working out pretty scientific, right? You like to read studies. So I also know. So how do you think is the best way to cut down, like in terms of calories?
Well, I feel like it's very simple if the only goal is just to lose body fat. But if you like want to maintain the most amount of muscle you can, and maybe even gain some depending on your circumstance, then you definitely have to go about it like a lot more strategic.
How would you do that?
I would probably eat in like if I was going to do it for myself, I would probably eat in like a calorie deficit of roughly like 15%. So like 15% of my maintenance calories.
Yep.
I would subtract those, and there would be like my deficit calories, and I would definitely have like a few refeed days a week as well. Seen a few studies on that really helping with just maintaining the muscle mass.
Yeah, because the reason I mainly ask is a lot of people always say, oh, you should have like a calorie deficit of 500 calories.
Yeah, that's like...
but I like that you use percentages because it's very different from...
It's something I've thought a lot about. Like it's not like a bad answer to give like 500 calorie deficit for a cut and 500 calorie surplus for a bulk, which in my opinion is too much for most people. But yeah, it doesn't really take each individual's body weight into consideration. Exactly. So it's a general guideline. It's not bad. I wouldn't say that. It definitely can give you results, but I just like to optimize things for myself, and if I'm helping some other dude, like make it better for their circumstance too.
Makes sense.
It's really important.
What would you say is your how do you stay so shredded sort of year round, and what is your motivation to do so, and are there any goals in the future to not be that shredded?
What's a few questions?
That were a lot of questions at the same time. I realized as well. So I mean, how are you feeling today? What did you eat for breakfast? What did you eat for breakfast?
Oh.
And no. Okay. Yeah. So basically, you're staying shredded year round. What is your secret to do that?
I feel like I just have a motivation to stay shredded. I feel like the reason for why you're doing it is pretty much what matters the most. Like it's pretty weird. Like, since I grew up overweight, I obviously wasn't disciplined with what I ate and stuff. But since I really wanted to be shredded and I know my older brother, he had like abs when I was fat, and that really motivated me to like get to his level. And I remember just asking him like, hey, can I touch your abs? I was like so in shock. Like I wanted those. So I really just went all in like the first day, even though I was overweight and had lived a really unhealthy lifestyle for my entire life. I just one day snapped my fingers, even though it sounds a bit like unrealistic to just completely change everything overnight. I mean, some people
I think it's not
maybe aren't able to do that if they're like sense of motivation isn't high enough.
It sounds most of the time like a snap of the finger, but it's more like a tipping point. So it's more like a compounding of everything most of the time. And then one day, it's not like, that's just the last drip of the bucket. That's what made it overflow. And then you're like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. And your bucket was probably overflowing quite a lot. So you were like, all right, I need to change something, and it needs to be changed. It needs to be a drastic change.
So, I thought about doing it for probably years. And I was really young as well, like 11 at that time. I really wanted to make a change. I remember thinking like, okay, like after summer, I'm going to make a change. So that means that I'm going to be eating even more junk food now so that I can enjoy myself before I start this new endeavor, which is going to be pain.
Pain?
Yeah.
You describe fitness.
Well, I mean, if you go from being overweight to anorectic, then yes, it's definitely going to be pain, right?
Yeah, because I obviously didn't do it in like a balanced fashion. Went from eating junk food, probably eating like 400 or 500 calories a day and jogging every single day after school.
Wait, how many calories a day?
400
or 500. I remember I had like a small bowl of oatmeal and something else.
So I just noticed like you said like described fitness, or that's not fitness, but describe fitness in like pain, and you are used to pain. I think you just mentioned as well. Like, is that how you view fitness now as well?
I sort of say it like in a joking.
No, I know, but that could be some truth to joke.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I've definitely been on like the extreme ends of a lot of different stuff when it comes to fitness. So it's only like recently, the last few years, that I've been able to like more balance fitness with my regular life. Especially, it wasn't probably until the whole lockdown situation happened where the gyms had to be closed. It wasn't like until then I actually realized that, okay, there's other stuff to life than just working out. Until then, that was pretty much what all my life was about.
I think that's recognizable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Whether it's fitness or business or something else, right? That you just go all in and then realize, wait, there's actually other things in life.
Yeah, when you have to be forced as well to like not be able to do that, then you start to like look at other options and get new hobbies. And
yeah, definitely. I mean, to understand the full journey, because we talked about being overweight and then going to anorexic, maybe that transition, maybe a little before that. You talked about your lifestyle. Like, what was so bad about it? How did you even... You talk about it in a way that it was... there was no way you actually came out sort of fit out of that, so you became overweight. Yeah. What was the upbringing like, or why were you overweight?
I mean, I won't blame my parents. They were like, normal, healthy parents, not like incredible healthy. I'm definitely the person who wants us to eat like clean foods. Okay. To this day, they're more so the frozen pizza persons, but it's all good. But I just had like really unhealthy habits, just playing video games every single day, eating candy every single day. And I tried some sports, but never really did anything like consistently. Just was a very lazy kid.
No, exactly, because I was more like searching for that because of I was part of like that as well, kind of lazy, but because you said your brother was he had abs, so it was like the same family, but that was just the reason why. That's why I talked about upbringing, not to bash your parents or anything like that. More like because the one has abs and the other one is overweight, like. What happened, but I mean,
it was definitely me. I was just a really stubborn kid, didn't really want to listen to anyone, just wanted to do what gave me the most comfort at that circumstance, and that was obviously just to binge junk food and play video games, Call of Duty.
I wonder, because obviously you know a lot more about fitness and food right now. If you go back to your 11-year-old making that decision, how would you do it these days? And that's probably also good advice for a lot of people who want to make a change and might want to go from being overweight to something else.
I'd probably, I wouldn't teach myself a lot of different stuff, because then I would probably just get overwhelmed with information and not believe my future self or something. Yep. I'd probably just tell myself to do the basics, like just a small calorie deficit, and you can for sure track your calories, but don't go like overboard and too obsessed, which I feel like a lot of people become in the beginning. It's also a place where I have more balance now. I don't like track calories 24/7, but I do somewhat like estimate it in my head just to make sure I get like most of my calories in and have like a minimum range for protein, and like carbs and fat that doesn't really matter that much, especially when bulking. So I tried to do everything in a balanced approach. I kind of forgot your question though. I feel like I went.
What would you do if you go back to that 11-year-old? How would you do it differently? Because you went to 500 calories and running.
Yeah, I definitely did it like super restrictive, and somehow I actually managed to do it though. I feel like since I was that motivated to just change my life, I could probably eat sand for every day and somehow still make it happen because of how motivated I was.
I mean, you say I make it work, but then again, if the result is being anorexic, then maybe so. Yeah, like would you just eat more and take it much slower?
Yeah, certainly a lot slower deficit. Yeah, I'm definitely a strength trainer as well, because I just wanted to get rid of the fat and then try to build muscle, which you definitely can, but why not just incorporate them both at the same time? And if I would to do a really slow deficit and also strength training, since I would be completely new to that, I definitely would gain muscle in the process as well, so it would take much faster to achieve the results that I wanted. Yeah.
So how much weight did you lose?
Probably lost around, I think I started probably weighed like 70 kilos, which isn't like a crazy amount.
Well, for an 11-year-old?
Yeah, I was pretty short too.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and I think I went down to 36 kilos at my lowest. So that was like really big change. Yeah.
Like you lost 50%
That's definitely
of your
anorectic,
weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, 50% of your weight.
That's like nothing.
How long did that take?
Didn't even take. I mean, it took a few months, probably like. Nah, it took longer than a few months. Probably like 9 months, I'm guessing, or something.
It's 9 months of
Yeah.
like a few hundred calories a day.
Crazy, yeah, like 500 or something calories. Yeah.
Did you have like any other physical issues
Yeah,
at the
side
time?
effect probably.
I mean, not that I noticed really. I mean, I obviously lacked energy, which is definitely like the most obvious one.
Yeah, like sports in school or stuff like that.
I became really unsocial just because I was so fixated on my goal of losing fat. So like when people would hang out after school, I just went to the gym and jogged every single day then. So I'd kind of like put that before everything, like every social event. And yeah.
You talk about the motivation, like you sound motivated as well. You had a goal and you were gonna reach it no matter what. What was the motivation? It had to be super strong, or was it just the abs?
Yeah, to be honest, I feel like it was mainly my abs. That was all I wanted. I just wanted a six pack, and that is one of the reasons why I feel like I cut down for lost a lot more fat than what I should have done and what I
definitely
yeah, and probably once you were there you didn't have abs,
because
right?
I hadn't developed them through training, because that obviously helps a bit. And since I didn't do that, I thought like, okay, I have to lose more fat, they will pop eventually. Like all of the fitness dudes say, oh, it's in the kitchen you get your abs essentially, and you don't need to train them at all. I kind of
six-pack shortcuts.
That was who I watched when I first.
I know everyone did
the towel rows, you know.
Yeah. Of course.
Now, thankfully. Yeah, but
it's a very interesting story, and I think unfortunately very relatable for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That maybe not this extreme, but they go from, basically you follow something that you hear without doing any research.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes, it's true. Most, let's say 75% of getting visible abs is probably in the kitchen, but it's definitely about having, also working out and having a healthy lifestyle.
A developed, healthy body.
Exactly. And there's more to life than having abs,
right?
Yeah.
But there's light at the end of the tunnel because you're now here. What is that journey like? You realized that you were at an unhealthy weight, or you were feeling not good, or you wanted to gain muscle?
Yeah, that was like the plan initially. So, I've said this about like my past. So how I went about it was completely wrong, like the dumbest thing you possibly can ever do. But like the long-term strategy, that wasn't too off. So I'm like giving myself praise for that, because the plan was to lose the body fat and then focus on building muscle. Because my older brother, who really like inspired me, he was pretty jacked too, because he'd been strength training for a few years. So I really wanted to become like him, get some tips from him, and start the strength training. But like surprise, I went from focusing on losing fat, was way too fixated on that, to like the opposite when it comes to building muscle. So then I went to like working out every single day, training my muscle groups like 5 days a week, doing like every machine every single day. Was in the gym for like 3 hours. It's really overtraining.
And this is like age 12.
Yeah, age 12.
So you've been working out for 8-9 years now.
Yeah, probably like 8, 7.
Damn,
probably.
nice.
I've had
I'm not
few
sure that's nice.
setbacks.
Now,
we'll get into that discussion later.
That's true. But I mean, more in a way that's consistent.
Yeah, I've tried since I've had like a lot of setbacks regarding injuries and the gym's closing and stuff. But like every single time I could have gone to the gym, I've gone to the gym.
But that's very consistent. I mean, that in itself is like kind of respect. But yeah, I mean, we'll get there in a second.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because you say I went, basically if you train 7 days a week, probably every muscle group 5 times a week, you're going to get overtrained.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And then you said, I had some setbacks with injuries. I mean, 1 + 1 = 2 here. Overtraining injuries.
Definitely.
How long did it take before you actually started getting injuries?
Probably took a few months, and I obviously didn't see that good of results as well. Like that's probably I talk a lot about on my channel, like overtraining and trying to get especially teenagers, since they have a lot of spare time and they're a bit more stubborn. So it's really easy for like teenagers to just be in the gym constantly, do like a push-pull leg split, because that's what their favorite influencer is doing at the moment. So they're like doing it too. So I'm really trying to just push that. More isn't always better, and it's actually better to do a lot less in the beginning.
Yes.
When you don't need as much volume to actually grow, so that you can build that up over time.
That's an interesting point where you say when you start the volume, because I believe that, and I think I've heard you say it as well, the longer you've been training, the more volume you can and maybe should be doing in order to keep getting muscle growth.
Yeah.
But when you just start, like doing upper-lower splits is probably the best, and hitting it, you know, maybe 4 times a week total, like
3
going-
full body workouts a week.
or full body workouts.
Yeah, that's
Good
what
also.
I advocate too, especially like for complete beginners.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I basically work with when I work with people for 90 days. For the first 90 days, they will be doing 3 workouts a week, and they're all full body.
And it gives amazing results.
They get pretty damn good results, and it's just because they are consistent. And I mean, like you said, they have more time, and you have to have that motivation. But if someone is not motivated, and you only give them 3 workouts a week instead of the 5 or 7, because some people, actually people that join the 90 Challenge say that their parents or people around them ask, so how many workouts a day do you do now? Because you're doing this, and it's like, no, he's just doing 3 workouts all around an hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe a longer one, an hour and 30 minutes, but it's always between an hour and 30 minutes. And they're getting good results because they're just consistent, and then they're just doing like a decent amount of volume, but it's just all very maintainable. And that's what I would recommend most of the time.
It's with everything, right? I think if you have a workout split that is just too much, then you're going to say, oh, I'll skip one day. And once you start skipping one day, it just starts to fall down. Same with habits, right? If you build habits, but you have too many habits, you think, oh, you know what? I'll just skip the reading today. And then you just skip everything.
Yes.
So I think what both of you say, just make sure it's sustainable, it's doable for a long period of time.
Yeah.
That is probably the best tip out there for anyone starting. But even if you've been going to the gym for years, right?
Yeah.
Just keep going and make sure it's sustainable.
Yeah, that's a good one, because it's like, I wanna read more a day. I wanna do cold showers. I wanna make the bed. I wanna open the curtains. I wanna do this.
Yep.
And as soon as you have a tipping point and you skip the first one, you're gonna skip all of them.
Yep. Yeah, definitely.
But
go ahead.
I mean, I'm still very interested in like the way you look at training right now and how you're feeling. Like the way, everything have come together. You've gone through all the phases. You've overweight, super shredded, and anorexic, which is obviously not the way we would promote it at all. And you overcame that, and now you're here. So how are you looking at fitness right now, and how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better right now, especially after like the Christmas holidays. Definitely gained a few more kilos, but that is good though.
No, enjoy. Yeah,
I enjoyed it, so I'm not feeling like really any pressure like I did in the beginning, and it's kind of like pressure that I give myself too. So just to become like more self-aware, that is kind of like my own self that is giving me that pressure, and that it's not like technically being forced upon me. Just shows that we're living in a pretty great era and can be appreciative of that.
Yeah.
Like we're only having problems we're creating in our own head essentially. So trying to just focus on being more grateful for all the good things instead of being like focused on my ignorant little problems going on in my head. I always like to like turn it into something comedic, like I'm just bitching about stuff that don't really matter. Yeah.
I like it.
How many times a week do you work out now?
Now only 4. Yeah, so I turned it down. I trained 5 days a week like a few months ago. Few reasons for why I changed to 4. One, I wanted to have more recovery, which I feel like is really undervalued, especially like when it comes to people my age, like younger people starting to lift. I feel like it's not really cool to say, oh, rest. There's only these 40-year-old bodybuilding bros on YouTube saying that, but I'm like trying to help the younger audience as well. So since there's a lot of people who's had a similar background like me, like overtrained, and it's being really extreme, so I'm trying to like help them to like show that recovery that actually is essential. Like when I went from training 7 or 6 days a week to a full body split, saw way better progress. So much, like I spent 1/3 of the time in the gym and I saw over twice the progress. Like I didn't even see progress. This is basically an ad for your full body.
Full body. No, I mean, it's
by his course.
It's by my course. I mean, it's body weight. Yeah. So, but it works the same, especially for beginner. It's the same thing. But
that's funny, by the way. Just sorry for interrupting. You say that's the same, but a lot of people say when you do body weight, you should do a lot more volume and a lot more things, and when you add weight, you should train less. But that's not true, right? Because you can still get the progressive overload with
you can still
body weight exercises.
That's for sure.
It's all about, in essence, it's
intensity.
Challenge yourself. That's the thing. If you can do, if you're not within those like 3 reps of failure, basically, I mean, which a lot of people are not with push-ups, for example, and they're like, all right, let's do 3 sets or 4 sets or 5 sets of 12 reps, and you can do 30, you're not really challenging yourself, and you're not going to hit that progressive overload. So I mean, that's just a simple answer to that. If you can do that at 20 kilograms to that, go do pull-ups with 20 kilograms.
People are probably just assuming that since you're doing body weight, they're only doing like crunches and push-ups and things that are pretty easy for like low reps. But as you guys have shown, there's a lot of hard calisthenic exercise you can do, which I'm nowhere near of doing. So
dude,
we're gonna try it.
Yeah, we're gonna try it after this podcast for sure.
Can't wait for that.
And look at gymnasts, right? Those guys can be used. Yeah. So
I mean, and I don't think in their life lots of rest days exist, but they're just a different breed maybe. I would not recommend any type of training like that, but only for performance, which these guys are doing. They are training for the Olympics. Like if you want to be the best in the world, you got to train like the best in the world, and you got to be actually working out, training on certain stuff for like, I don't know, 5 to 6 hours a day, maybe even longer. You're also making videos about your lifestyle, like how fitness destroyed your life, but it also made your life.
Yeah.
So you made a video on that, went viral on Doucette. Like, how was that?
That was pretty surreal. That was someone I watched on YouTube for a long time as well. So I remember I was in a gym when I saw that Greg has reacted to a video of mine, and like
it's a perfect moment as well. I'm in the gym.
I was doing a few sets of curls, but I remember that I couldn't feel any of like my blood going into my curls since I was just so excited. So my blood was just rushing to my brain. I couldn't even focus on the set, didn't even feel my biceps. So I was really just excited, and it was pretty cool to see. And I feel like that message actually is like one that a lot of people needs, because I feel like there's a lot of people who has had a similar background to me, which I know since a lot of those have DM'd me and said that they can relate like extremely, and that they haven't really seen anyone have like a similar background. And I feel like even if I don't have the answer to everything, which I certainly don't, just relating to someone when they feel like they're going through something completely by themselves, I feel like that still helps a lot, so that people feel less alone.
Yeah, definitely. Sure. And that's basically the story. Like, how would you describe your YouTube channel? What are you doing on YouTube, and how is that going?
Yeah, I mean, I have a small break now just because this is like the start of 2022. Just want to clear my mind, figure where I want to go with the direction. I'm definitely still going to make like fitness content, but I'm thinking of more so also going into just more self-development, just more of the mental aspect to a lot of different stuff. I just like talking about things that I found interesting in my life, and fitness is obviously a huge part of my life, which it still is, but I feel like I also find stuff with just well-being and pretty cliche topics also pretty interesting, so I'll probably delve a bit more into that too, but definitely gonna be vlogging my lifestyle a lot and trying to come up with informative content as well. I haven't really gotten a specific niche that I'm in. I feel like
you were, I think, because the whole story about how Greg Doucette also sort of answered and replied to your video is, you said people could relate. I think the most important thing in having a YouTube channel or social media presence or a business in general is that you decide this is what I am about and people can actually relate. And maybe that target audience isn't 100 million people, but if it's a few million people who are super into this and feel they can relate, they will follow you and do anything you basically do. And I think that's more powerful. Or
even a few thousand or a few 100,000.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's same. But like Bob said that you just said something and I forgot it.
He is in a niche. Yeah, a very specific niche. Like, it's not just about, look how big I can become or how shredded I become. It's actually, these are the side effects and the negative parts of it. And this is what I struggle with.
I mean, that's like only one video though. That's like, because I have so many videos on different topics. Yeah, but it's very out there.
Yeah. Well, Bob also said you were like scientific, right? But do you probably know Jeff Nippert?
Yeah.
Those videos are you could do kind of those videos. I like that.
I really had to step up my game.
It puts in the work, definitely. But you can make those edits work. But also the way he produces scientific content is the way it should be done. Otherwise, it is just boring, basically. And he found a way to make this
like for the majority of population, which wouldn't never really read scientific papers. And
if you could do that in a way with not just fitness content like Jeff is doing, but also in a way with habits or what you just said, self-development. If you could sort of cross those, like make a crossover there. That could be kind of interesting. For example, I'm just saying stuff that
I appreciate you giving me tips on this podcast. I feel like we're both learning a lot from this. I think it's great for sure. Yeah.
So you could try stuff like that out. For example, we're now in a YouTube strategy call right now.
We'll send the invoice later. It's
we'll send the invoice later.
So,
No, but so your social media game right now is on pause?
I would say so. I mean, I'm still posting on my Instagram, on stories and stuff, but I'm just mainly trying to figure out in what direction I want to go.
That's very good. That's very good. I think everyone I've noticed around me, I did it kind of myself as well, maybe a little bit not enough. I actually should have done it in December, but lots of people in December start doing this. YouTubers, they just don't upload for around a month even, from like half December to half January. And then they just come up with lots of ideas. They plan a lot of stuff. Obviously, they'll spend time with their family. And I think this is definitely a very good thing that I'm going to do yearly as well, because it just drives creativity to another level.
You've been going hard for a long time as well.
For a long time.
Yeah.
But even if you plan it properly, you can still upload videos in that period of time, but just not create videos, right? If you have some prepared.
Exactly. And it doesn't even really matter. I mean, YouTube does kind of want that, but it doesn't really matter. It's good to have that. Also, if you're not on YouTube, if you're on Instagram or if you're anywhere or just in general, to just take a month off something you're doing regularly and see, hey, I mean, I was still writing videos during like the 2 weeks. I also kind of did nothing. I mean, I didn't upload. But so that's a good one. But social media is now on hold, kind of. What are your everything you do basically in life? You're now traveling?
Haven't been, actually I've traveled a bit in Norway too, just to other regions to see friends and stuff. Yeah, but also now I'm just mostly focusing on just building good habits for my day. So like a morning routine, evening routine, trying to just optimize my days for when I actually get back into routine. My head is on point, my body's feeling great, I'm being productive, I'm not just being on my phone on social media scrolling.
What's your screen time?
You're gonna expose me like this?
6 hours.
I mean, you're right, man. You're right.
Yeah?
Yeah, it is 6 hours.
Oh, it is?
Well, I mean, probably on the worst days. I wouldn't say it's like that every day.
I mean, it's always a bit of a, like, my screen time on my phone could be 3 hours, but my screen
doing
time,
some work on Instagram or
partly as well, but there's also definitely scrolling.
Yeah,
but
and there's your PC.
My PC screen time. I mean, if we're gonna add that, it will probably be like 25 hours a day. So I mean, that's a bit of a difference. Yeah.
But I mean, it really depends on what your screen time is for. If it's just being on TikTok watching stupid videos, which a lot of people have, then I think 6 hours is quite a lot.
Quite a
lot. But if you are like trying to figure out, hey, what kind of videos do I want to make? And you're checking out other people's videos, and you're looking at, and of course, also sometimes scrolling on other apps, right? There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I think then that's fine. So how's it going, the habit building?
I feel like it's going really well. Obviously now that I'm at your place, it's a bit different than home, but adapted pretty quickly.
You got it.
Yeah, exactly. You can make that or use that as an excuse. So I'm trying to wake up like 6:30 every morning. Then I meditate some, then I read some, then I do a cold shower, then I try to get on my day and do some work, do a workout early on. Also, I actually got like a part-time job at a kindergarten near my house, and that is not even because I needed it. I feel like it's just kind of like good to spend some time with children because they're so like enthusiastic. Just I wanted to experience that, and now that I have a bit more time, I'm just trying to really just put my mental health, just prioritize that, since that was something I really didn't focus on last year, since I was so just fixated on YouTube and social media. Now I'm just really trying to balance. Yeah, but not really for my mental health.
No, true.
But for my social media, but that obviously isn't there, everything. So I'm just trying to, just have a very good state of mind going into this year so that I can maintain it and, just have.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like the mental health aspect it just came up right now. Like before, it wasn't even a priority. Yeah. Because also the story you told before, I mean, obviously at 11, 12, 13, you're not going to prioritize mental health because fuck it.
Exactly.
Right?
You don't think about stuff like that.
But still, because of all the ups and downs and the progress, it never sounded there was even time for like the mental health aspect. And it's pretty cool to see now putting that almost first, or putting that first.
Yeah.
Which is also very important. Yeah, definitely. And the way you talk about the kindergarten one, which is very interesting because sort of a side way, but you have like the very influential people or the big people or the CEOs. They also try to stay young, like but even like hire young
Makes
people
sense.
to be there, be around them, just to get into that, like what is new, what is and it's kind of interesting.
As the old guy here, I can say it's actually something that works. And it's not the bridge that I want to make, but in general, because I am a bit older than you guys, and also I think it's super inspiring, and I learned so much from being around younger people about social media. I would have never been in this podcast if I wouldn't have surrounded myself with also younger people, also older people, by the way, because I feel like you can also really learn. I have friends of all age groups. I think that's super important.
But let's say you would hang around people, I mean, at all age group, perfect, but you would only hang around with people, let's say 10 years older or 10 years younger. There's a big difference there. That's a very big difference there. So, and there's no real wrong answer, though there is in terms of business side or just in general, maybe staying young. It is obviously better to then hang out with also younger people, because that just
the
works.
way you guys like use social media for marketing is something I would have never learned from people 10 years older than me. But I've learned it because you hang out or you work with people who are younger. I think that's super important. And then no, you're not going to learn social media tricks from people in the kindergarten, but just probably the fact that they're, as you say, their enthusiasm, the way that they see the world, that's so refreshing.
I just felt like I took everything so serious in life. So I felt like, a good way to just loosen up, just be a goof, just act dumb. Just start to work a bit in the kindergarten and just play with the kids. And
that's cool.
It's
some might question, like, you're now sort of putting social media on hold. You're traveling. You have a part-time job then but you said you didn't really need it. How does that look like? What is your work basically? What would you define as your work, your like show your financials right now on the table now, like for real.
Like what I'm doing, which is like
what is
work?
your job? Like, I mean, I'm asking this also for people might be interested because
it's hard to like come up with one answer because I feel like I give a slightly different one to everyone, especially to like the kindergarten teachers, since they probably have no idea what YouTube is and stuff. I just say I edit videos.
Video production company.
Somewhat like that. Yeah, they would understand no matter what. But I edit some. I go to the kindergarten, work there part-time, and really just also now I'm just really putting all of the financial stuff on hold because as I said, I'm just really focusing on building good habits and just for the long run really, so that I'm able to like stay healthy and clear in my mind, so that I can keep pushing like when things gets like hard, especially you know all about that when you're posting so much and stuff. Do you have like any this is a question for you, by the way, so I'm taking over the podcast.
Go ahead, it's all yours.
Since you're so like productive and always like stays on top of your game when it comes to the YouTube aspect and everything, do you have like any sort of habits or anything you do to kind of like just relax, to make it easier to keep going long term? You feel like you have anything like that?
No, like there is just, which partly was just going up, like productivity, and we're just going for it. Like we're growing, everything is going well. Then just go cry in a corner, and then we're going back to up again. Now, like basically like that. It's which was around when I met Bob, which is just everything goes up, and then I just feel shit for a few weeks, and then it's just back up again. But I build up some habits throughout the year, and mainly past year, 2 years actually. Which was definitely like you talk some cold showers and waking up consistently. And I mean, not 6:30, 7:30 here. That wasn't really too big of a deal for me, but just, having a consistent routine.
Feel that.
But I do want to have more, some free time, which I think this year is planned in for me, literally. Like we just have, I was just like, hey, when are we going on holiday? Yeah, we're going this time. And then with my girlfriend's family, we're going this and this time. And with my family, we're going also 2 or 3 times. So I was like, all right, that's 5 holidays. All just a week. I will just do that then. But I kind of like it. I'm not, I'm enjoying that, more time with family as well, because my life looked like work, go home just to get the cooked food from my mom and dad, and then go back home to the studio to edit some more, and then come home.
Did you just say go back home to the studio?
It's basically a song.
I think I said that.
Yeah, you said that for sure.
So I go home here in the morning to work. Then so I wake up, go home here, and then I go to some weird house place, which is my mom and dad's house. No. Yeah, basically no. But I think I like the question, but that's why I find it so interesting and so important that I'm still working on that as well, but consistently, it's just...
Yeah.
I think the underlying issue not issue, but the topic here that we're actually sort of talking about for both of you definitely is the balance, right?
Yeah.
Finding the balance between work, growing, and being super enthusiastic about your whole work, but also still having time to be, to have me time, but also time for your friends.
Yeah.
And I think for you, it's right now, people are just making that me time and making the time with your friends and family for you. I think you went from, okay, I was focusing on work. Now I'm going to just throw that away. I'm going to focus on the other thing, the more social aspects and building habits. And I think the hard part is going to be combining the two and actually figuring out, so how am I going to find a good balance between, and I've struggled with it. I think it's, every entrepreneur, because you guys are entrepreneurs as well, because you build a social media business, that's their main struggle. Like, how do you balance that fine line of, because if you feel like if you go away for too long, that everything will go to shit, even though it's not. Probably.
I feel like you almost have to experience where your kind of limits are, and you have to push through like where you're comfortable at, and have to really be grinding hard to actually know what you're capable of like doing. Yeah, consistently.
But there are a few things you can always try and do. Like have one day a week where it's just a day off, right? You could do a workout, right, for you guys, but you don't film that workout. Yeah. Or don't do any work there. Just do what you feel like. I think that already brings so much. And then if you plan your week, plan like a lunch with a friend in there as a must-do something. And those like little things will probably help. And it's very easy to stop doing those every time.
It's an interesting thing. Funny that because we were having sort of the conversation and you were just like summarizing it kind of top like that was a proper summary. But then with the conclusion, and which I think I didn't think about the fact that he was doing the extreme, like you were on the other side. You were like, all right, I'm gonna stop grinding and focus on myself. And I was like, I have no clue what I'm doing actually. And then it's just in between. Yeah. But I think everyone sort of experiences.
I think so. Yeah.
At least entrepreneurs, maybe.
If you're like really interested in something and you really want to do something, I feel like you're like going to push yourself no matter what, because you're so passionate about it. So you don't really care at that point.
And probably it's the same with, I think it's a theme in the whole podcast here with you, that you really go like all or nothing in things, right?
I definitely feel like that.
You went from eating very unhealthy to going to like 36 kilos to going to the gym 7 times a week, and then just going to like, I'm going to stop my social media now because I'm going to go. So it's an interesting thing, and I think it's good to sort of realize. It's not necessarily a bad thing. No.
I mean, I wrote down, we wrote down like social media growth plan, but that's not the question right now, basically, because your plan right now is more like growth plan mentally, but it was in a social media way. Do you still look at that? Do you still have something in mind? Like, because you're now working on yourself, but more like where do you want to go, the direction? Do you have a direction already?
In terms of like social media?
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely feel like once, I feel like this sort of traveling that I'm doing right now, this would give me a lot of time at least to just think about what I want to do, and talk with similar people like you guys as well, since in Norway there's very few like entrepreneurs, and especially like doing YouTube and stuff, so it's always like great to talk about these subjects with people that can relate, and to get like an outsider perspective from someone who actually does somewhat of the same thing. So I really just wanted to take this time to still focus on my good habits, and maybe to vlog some, and also to make a plan for like what I'm going to be doing in the future. And I'm like, the plan now is to, once I get back home, to get back to the grind. I feel like I really started off this year very good, because I feel like last year it felt like I wasn't doing a lot, but I was thinking a lot, but I wasn't really like executing, so essentially just procrastinating. So I really just wanted to force myself now to not think about it. Like, if I'm going to think about it, then I actually got to do it, instead of just like pointless planning, and I'm kind of like tricking myself into thinking I'm productive, but in reality I'm just really not doing anything. So I just wanted to have like a complete break for a few weeks, and then
nothing wrong with that.
No, like we just said. Speaking
of like-minded people, so it's pretty funny. We sort of met you because you actually edited some videos for our other channel that we used to have, the crypto channel.
Yeah.
Then I know you now edit for someone else we had on the podcast, Mo Samuels.
Yeah.
And I saw last week you met up with someone else we had on the podcast, Back Guy. But he's, of course, from Norway as well.
Yeah.
So did you really use that as well to talk to someone who's in sort of a similar country, similar?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, talking to him, he actually reminded me a lot of you, Stan, since... the both of you are just like really in the grind mode, and it really just it's always nice to meet people like that who's like putting that as their priority. Like Baka, he's killing it, working on like a doctor's degree.
Yeah, and, that's what I was so
while crushing YouTube, and he has like a plan of what he's going to be doing for like the next 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, like he's really got it nailed down.
He didn't have that yet. I think when we
maybe I'm saying it like as an arbitrary number, but he had like
a long-term plan.
Yeah, knows what he's doing. Very long-term plan. He did not seem like unsure whatsoever.
And he's doing like national lifting championships and everything on the side.
He's crushing everything. It's really motivating to see.
Crazy. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean, I was impressed with that as well. I was like, oh, fuck, what am I doing? Like, in terms of, he's also doing a, doctor's degree, which is, I mean, his videos are very different from others.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. Which is in a good way, because I mean, there's nothing really like it, especially not in the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Because he just grabbed what was... in a funny way, he just it's not, like I said, it's not really comparable, but he grabbed like the Dolan Dark sort of meme videos. That's a YouTuber, quite big. He makes just meme videos about everything, but then also personalized it with giving it a face, because all those meme channels don't have a face or a back. Yeah, so no, he's killing it. He's killing it. Yeah, definitely. So that's I understand that. Like, it's more like-minded people hanging out, and also from Norway. There's also another Magnus from Norway.
Oh yeah, the rock climber.
The rock climber, pretty insane.
Haven't met him, but yeah, he's like a great guy and really strong. Yeah,
he's very strong. He's one. I mean, I don't think he's, you could say, one of the best climbers in the world, but he at least like online, he definitely is. I have no clue. Like, I don't want to discredit anyone who is the best climber, but to me, he looks like the best climber.
Yeah.
So
have you guys ever done bouldering, like climbing?
I've never done it.
How was it for you? Because it's funny, I'm going to do it in 2 weeks, and I thought, I do calisthenics, my forearms will be fine, and I heard some other guys say no.
You're just dead. It's just at some point your grip and your hands, it's just like,
we probably use way too much.
You're tired. You use way too much
like grip strength, or
you're using way too much flexion. Yeah. So you're flexing way too much instead of hanging. They are hanging. They're doing, and they're just using a lot of momentum, but also strength.
Of course,
believe me, strength. It's very impressive. Yeah. But
cool. Yeah, just I think we're slowly gonna.
I think we're almost there.
Now I know you prepared all the answers to our standard questions, which we no longer have. So I'm really sorry. No, we actually still have one.
We have a few. But I mean. You prepared all of them.
Someone was joking. I mean, I asked him.
He was like in the car, you're asking these questions, right? When we were on our way here. Like,
you didn't say, not
anymore.
Okay. Well, I mean, main question. I mean, we have one main question that we end with. Which one? I actually, what was the other? Which the other questions?
Well, we used to ask like, "What's the next big thing?" But we're not going to ask you what's the next big thing, because.
But you prepared already, right?
Yes, because
I mean, not really.
No, because that's a hard question to answer.
No,
but what we do want to know
prepared anything
is what you actually asked me if we were going to ask in the car. What's your superpower?
What's my superpower?
Yes.
You're asking that?
Yes. What is your superpower?
Okay, so does it have to be something that like? Does it have to be like perceived as a superpower,
whatever
or
you
can
feel.
It be whatever I feel like is a superpower?
What are you really good at? What do you excel at, and what are you just better at than the rest of the world?
I feel like I'd probably choose something. It's pretty boring.
That's
but that's maybe an interesting answer. Maybe to be like, I feel like I'm very self-aware, but like even being self-aware, I realize I'm not self-aware at all, like compared to how self-aware I can be. Does that make sense?
Yes,
because I feel like most people are.
I wanted to say that you were self-aware when you just mentioned about you procrastinating and your planning, which seems productive, but in reality, you're not productive at all. And I was like, oh, that's kind of self-aware. Yeah. Actually, acknowledging the fact that you're doing that is already like +1. Like, there you go. You're already a step ahead of yourself, or you're just a step ahead now. Yeah. So that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like I know a lot of the things that I need to work on. Like, I can very easily, like, without attaching myself too much to my ego, I can like say to myself, okay, why am I doing this? This is not helping me. Like, I really can tell just what I need to be doing and what I can just throw away in my life, which isn't helping. So I feel like just self-awareness just can help you figure out problems that you have. And
I think being aware of the fact that you're self-aware is very important. That's probably even more important, right? That because sometimes you might do things because you're so self-aware. So you might, this is hard to explain.
Yeah, it's very hard to explain.
It's a paradox.
Yeah, it's a paradox, basically, right?
I can relate to it in a way that well, it's funny that you say that, because I could say that about myself sort of as well, but you don't want to say that kind of.
Yeah.
But in a way that when we did the intro, for example, I fucked up the intro first, and then I was during the intro that is actually going to be used for this video, I was thinking at the same time, just during the talking, I was like, but I mean, maybe he thinks like, you're the YouTuber, why didn't you do it first time? Why did I fuck it up? Why did I do the 21-year-old instead of 20-year-old? Yeah, like stuff like that. Yeah. I was thinking that during the sentence.
You've done a great job. I'm not disappointed. Yes, you get my approval.
No, but yeah, I understand. And then just thinking about just overthinking maybe a little bit. So it could be a superpower, but it could also be a...
I mean, like, being self-aware, I feel like that's not like the same as overthinking, though.
No. That's true. Definitely. That's true.
But I feel like you can never be enough self-aware, since most of the time we're just doing habits which we're just done for years on end. So we're not really thinking about what we're doing.
I'm not sure if I agree, though.
You don't?
I think you can be too self-aware.
How so?
Because that will lead to overthinking, and that will lead to always thinking before acting.
Yes.
And it's being more, just let's just do this, or just I feel like this, and be more spontaneous. I think there's nothing wrong with it, but it's very good to be self-aware.
Yeah.
But if you always think about why am I doing this, and or like what's the background, then it might stop you in doing the things you should be doing.
I can see the.
I'm not saying you're there, but that's possible.
You're self-aware for you, maybe.
Yeah, like compared to myself, my previous self, like after just reflecting more, meditating a lot. That
I was going to say
helps.
meditating.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So at least I can't like say how other people think, but at least compared to my younger self, I'm very self-aware. So now I can kind of like fix the problem sometimes before it occurs, just because I can notice myself doing a lot of unhealthy habits, which probably leads to a certain hole of just something that I don't want in my life. So
all right. I mean, that's a good superpower. With that superpower, I wanna thank you for being in this episode.
Thank you.
Flying all the way over here
so much.
Just for the podcast.
Just for the podcast.
Going back tomorrow as well. Going back to Norway tomorrow.
No, I mean, have fun with the traveling. You're going to London.
Yeah.
I'm actually joining. I used to partly live in London prior to the last 2 years, let's call it that way. First time going back, so
so you're gonna almost feel like home in some weird
and
way.
See friends. And we're actually meeting up with Mo Samuels as well, because you work for him, and I used to meet up with him every now and then in London prior to all this. So
he was like my motivation to start YouTube as well. Yeah, I'm editing for him, so it feels really good. Yeah,
that's epic. Yeah.
I often think about that. Yeah,
awesome. All right. On that note, we're ending this episode. Thank you so much for watching this podcast, and also listening. If you're on Spotify, smash the like, subscribe, and also check out Magnus. And some phone just dropped.
Nice.
It's all good.
Smash link for the phone drop.
All the links for Magnus will be in the description, in the show notes, wherever you're watching or listening. Thank you so much. And we're out. That was the podcast.